Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Gaming Quitter, the most delicious quitter of them all. Today we are going to talk about the new mana spirals that have been announced today. Since tomorrow will be a rerun for the banner in which Summer Celliera and Summer Julieta are on raid up, Cygames decided to give both a mana spiral. This comes at a time where both are actually more useful than ever. Since the release of the Fire Agato fight, where the twins can actually get bogged, both have seen more use. Especially Summer Celliera, since she's seen very often in people rooms, and her shared skill is also very useful thanks to inflicting bog. Before the Agato fight, both haven't seen much use since the only content they could have been used in was Hyper and Hilda, and they weren't really optimal there since Hyper and Hilda cannot be bogged. Or at least not more than once if I remember correctly. A little spoiler here, the mana spirals won't change that fact a lot because they still won't be super useful in Hyper and Hilda. I'm also very sad that we haven't gotten an announcement for a spiral for Summer Estelle or Gala Renzel, Summer Renzel, and it's really sad, but maybe for Estelle I think they could announce a spiral when the raid event actually starts, so we'll have to wait and see. So let's talk about Summer Julieta. I actually don't have her yet, so I can't talk about personal experience with this, but I've seen some people use her in the Twin Agato fight, but actually very rarely. They didn't change her kit much, to be honest, and it's the same with Summer Celliera. As you can see on the screen right now, her skill description for Sunny Flash hasn't changed at all. Unlike with other water units, she doesn't get a frostbite infliction with her mana spiral, and I guess that's understandable because she already inflicts bog. But it's also the same for Summer Celliera, by the way. She also does not get a frostbite infliction or anything like that. Her skill 2, Vacation Vigor, isn't changed that much either. When you use it the first time, it still increases nearby allies' strength by 15% for 15 seconds. That hasn't changed, and you still need to be near your allies for the buff. When you use it the second time, it now increases the user's and nearby allies' critical rate by 13% instead of 10%. And when you use it the third time, it gives the user and nearby allies a one-time use shield. I'm not entirely sure. How was it worded? You can see it on the screen. It gives the user a one-use shield that nullifies damage that's less than 40% of the user's maximum HP instead of 30 like before. So as I said, it hasn't changed that much, and I'm not really sure if that's going to be super duper useful. Especially since Summer Julieta can't activate double buffs with any of these buffs. And that's where Summer Celliera, for example, really shines. You also need to be near your allies to actually activate the buffs. And that's most of the time possible, because when you fight the Agato, you're obviously most of the times near them. But I'm not entirely sure about this one. Something that is really useful is her bog equals team strength buff. Before her spiral, every time Summer Julieta inflicts bog on an enemy, the entire team gets 10% strength buff. With her spiral, she sees a 5% increase to 15%. Like most units that get a spiral, her Summer stun res turns into potent stun res, which means she gets a buff every time she resists a stun affliction. There are 1 or 2 chances in the twin battle where you can actually activate this by choice, so that's a nice free buff for her. Also really cool is the primed strength increase, since that's just a plainly little nice strength increase. But it's not really that much, so meh. So overall, her changes don't sound too hot, but I guess it kinda depends on how much the skill costs change, if they change at all. We've seen it with Halloween Alisand that skill shift mechanics can get a higher skill cost with the spiral, but let's just hope it won't be as bad with Julieta, or maybe they don't change that at all. I really hope they increase the damage of her attacks more than just a few little percent to make her more viable. I don't think she will become more useful or stronger than Karina is, for example. And if you have spiraled her already, I'm not entirely sure if you should do the same with Summer Julieta. Summer Saliera has seen a lot of use in the Ayaha and Otoha fight, and not only in people rooms. She's a very welcome addition thanks to her ability to activate defense double buffs, increase the entire team's strength and attack rate. Also, her skill 1 fills up pretty quickly, which means that the twins are pretty much blocked a lot. So she's a character that definitely didn't really need a spiral, but it's still nice to see her get some buffs, so let's take a closer look. Her skill 1, Ocean Fury, hasn't really changed at all. Just like with Summer Julieta, we can only wait and see if the spiral will increase the SP cost for her as 1, but I really don't hope that's going to happen, because as I said, you can use it a lot, and that's what makes her so good. Pep Talk is what makes Summer Celliera so good, and now it makes her a little better, but is it good enough to justify a spiral though? When she uses Pep Talk for the first time, she increases the entire team's defense by 10%. With the spiral, it has now changed to 15%. So she's already better in this way than Julieta, since her first use of Vacation Vigor doesn't even get a buff. When Saliera uses it a second time, she increases the entire team's strength by 13% instead of just 10. Not a huge buff sadly, but I guess sometimes every little percentage counts. The last change is with the third use of her attack, where the entire team's attack rate gets buffed by 25% instead of 20%. I'm not entirely sure if all of these small number increases are going to make Celliera so much better than before. I personally don't think it will bring a huge change, but I guess her personal DPS will increase thanks to the spiral's natural increase in stats, but there won't be much difference for the rest of the team. I'm also kinda disappointed by the changes in her abilities. Her strength double buff only gets an increase of 2%. She also obviously gets the potent burn rest changes, and a nice little increase of 5% for her buff skill time plus ability, and that may help a little bit to chain buffs together. Both units didn't really get a huge change on their kit like other adventurers did, and I guess that's also because they didn't really need it. Like I already said, some of Celliera is already being used a lot because she's a good unit in the Agato fight. Some of Julieta, I guess there are just better options. I guess both will have more personal DPS, but I don't think it will impact the fights a lot. So if you ask me if you should spiral these both, I would say maybe? Julieta won't be much of a game changer after her spirals, and I'm not sure if the materials that are required are actually worth the changes. Only spiral her if you really like her as a character or her kit, and you just want to play her and make her more viable for the fights. As for Summer Celliera, I guess since she's already very viable without her spirals, I'd say the same here actually. Only spiral her if you really like her and you have some spare resources to do so. She is a good unit at 50 MC, and she will be obviously a better unit at 70 MC. I think I would actually spiral her myself because I really like her, I like her playstyle, and it would also mean an increase of damage when I use her skill share or shared skill, but I don't have the materials for it right now, so I might sit on that idea for a while. And that's it for this video. I took a different approach this time, doing some more edits and not just lazily record my screen. I also wrote a script for this one. You may have noticed that because it kind of sounded like I'm reading stuff off this time, because I did. And if you like these kind of videos more than the other stuff I did before where I just record my screen, I'll try and do stuff like this more often. It does take a little more time, but I would happily take that time if people like it. Literally, please like the video. It helps me a lot. And if you have any questions or want to share your opinion on these spirals, tell me in the comments below, or come visit Orthodox Discord where I hang around a lot. It's a very friendly community. We help each other do Agato fights or even still high dragon trials, and we just talk about Dragalia. It's a very fun place to be. The link to the Discord will be in the description below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe for more Dragalia content. I really love this game, and I hope it shows. So, see you all in the next video. Bye!